Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Penny. Today I'm going to lead you through a Yin Yoga class, focusing on hips, using a couple props, but if you don't have props, don't worry about it. We can get into these poses without props. So we're going to start out on our backs. And lay down on your back and bring your feet apart, mat width apart. Just press into the feet, lift the hips up, and then lay the low back right back down. Allow the knees just to knock together. And you can bring your arms wherever feels good. We're going to practice a little bit of breath work to begin with, just a minute or two of breath work. So bringing arms down to the side, out to a T. A goalpost position is also nice. And just begin to notice your breath. Notice the inhale and the exhale. Not changing the breath in any way, the natural breath. And notice any tension that you're holding in the breath. Is the breath smooth? Or is it choppy? Or somewhere between? And now notice where the breath enters your body. Feel that very first place you notice the breath enter the body. For me, for today, I notice it entering and just about on my upper lip. I feel the breath start to enter into my body. So just take a couple breaths and notice. Just lie and relax. Your eyes can be closed or open. Relax your upper chest, your shoulders. Relax the muscles around the neck. Swallow a couple times to relax the jaw. And keep the belly soft as it rises and falls with the breath. Try not to hold any tension here. This is an effortless breath. And just notice if you finish the exhale before you inhale. Try to complete the exhale. Just a few more breaths here. These soft breaths. Imagine there's a candle in front of your nose and you're trying not to blow it out with your breath, so keep it soft and quiet. And just, if you have the eyes closed, take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, sigh out the mouth. One more inhale like that, nice and deep. Out the mouth. And this time a nice natural inhale, and as you exhale, allow the eyes to open. Allow the knees to come apart. Just start a slow windshield wiper with your knees. Internal and external rotation of the hips. Just get the hips, the joint capsule of the hips, just a little lubricated with that synovial fluid that's in our joint capsules. This is how we just warm the hips up without engaging the muscles too much. We don't want to engage the muscles in yin. We want to keep them cool so we can work the deeper tissues of the tendons, ligaments, the fascia, and the joint capsule. So we're working those deeper tissues in our body in our yin practice. All right, draw those knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug. And as you exhale, let's go ahead and do one twist before we sit up and do our first posture. So draw that right knee in, bring the shoulder blades back and down. Tuck the chin slightly towards the chest. a couple breaths here. And then twist. Left palm to right thigh, right arm out like a wing, and roll that right knee over to the left side. Try to let the right shoulder remain on the earth. I'm just going to be here for a couple of breaths. And rolling that right hip back to the earth, hug both knees in to neutralize. And then send the right leg long. Left knee is in. Take a couple breaths here. And then twist. Right hand to left thigh, left arm out like a wing. Keeping the left shoulder on the earth, just a little twist here. Alright, then roll that left hip. Let's get started. So one more squeeze in with those knees. Then gently roll to your right side, using your left hand to press yourself up into a seated position. And we're going to go right into our first pose. It's a child's pose. That is our first yin posture. We're going to hold all poses about 2 to 3 minutes today, so not super long. 2 to 3 minutes will still get that deep stretch we're looking for. So find yourself with wide knees and toes together. So child's pose looks like this, and if you know child's pose and you love it, go right on in. But if you're newer to yoga, a couple of things that can happen is our ankles can be really tight and it might not be comfortable. This is a great place to put a blanket roll under your ankles. So it looks like that, and it takes the pressure off your ankles. So if you notice your ankles are tight, you can do this. Forehead is on the earth. Arms reach long, but not too active. So let the forearms rest on the earth. And I'll give you one more cue. Some people's knees don't like this. And if you're one of those that your knees are giving you a little bit of a challenge today, this is a great place to place a block or two underneath your bum. And then you can come on in. All right, so this is where I'm going to stay. If you've never practiced Yin Yoga before, there are 3 tenets to Yin Yoga. And the first one is you find your edge. So you don't want it to hurt. You don't want the pose to be injurious, but you want to feel a deep stretch. So we're stretching the hips and the low back here. And the second tenet is to find stillness, because it is in stillness in Yin that we work the deeper plastic tissues. Our muscles are elastic and they go back and forth just like a rubber band, but our deeper tissues, the fascia, the ligaments, and the joint capsule, they all take a lot longer to stretch. So that's why we hold stillness for a time. So you find your edge, you hold it stillness, and for a length of time. And today, like I said, 2 to 3 minutes per posture. But since I've been talking, we've probably got about 1 minute left. So I'm going to give you a minute of silence in child's pose. Take a deep breath in. Sigh it out the mouth, and then settle in. Relax the shoulders. If your mind starts to wander, remember, bring it back to the breath and just watch the breath. In and out the nose. give those shoulders a break. Just start to slide the arms down by your side. Palms face up. And just take about 5 breaths here. Slide those palms underneath the shoulders. Brush yourself up. And come to an all-fours position. Pat the knees up with a blanket. If you need to, walk the palms out. Let's just do some big hip circles here. So in Yin, we either rebound from our long-held postures with stillness or with a little Yang movement, such as we're doing right now. So I'm going to go 3 times in each direction. Make sure you even yourself out. And then we're going to find our way into our next posture, bound angle, seated bound angle. So I bring the soles of the feet together. This is a great place to sit on the edge of a blanket, just on the edge. You don't want to sit far back, just the sitting bones on the edge, tilting the pelvis forward so it keeps your spine in alignment. And that feels really nice here. Now, this is a great place for a block or 2 or a couple props. So a nice long spine. So I'm bringing my shoulders back and down. My heart presses forward as I draw the heart towards the feet in front of me. And the feet are about 12 to 15 inches away. So we're not in butterfly. We're in a seated bound angle where the heels are a little further away. So our target area is the outer hips, the external rotators of our hips. We're going to try to get into all the pockets of the hips today. So draw yourself forward, and if your low back feels good, most certainly you can round into this. Or if your back is giving you a challenge, just plant your palms and keep a long spine here. Close your eyes wherever you're at. We're going to hang out for a couple more minutes here. I'm going to go ahead and round in. And make sure you're feeling a deep stretch. And maybe it's not so comfortable, but make sure it's not sharp and injurious to your body. Make sure you know that even though it's not comfortable, it's going to benefit your body. Go ahead and remember, let the mind be on the breath. The mind starts to wander. Just pay attention to the breath going in and out the nose. Soften the shoulders if you can. I have my hands placed up. It's more of a receiving gesture for the hands. It also externally rotates the shoulders. That's not necessary though. You can have palms down. It's more grounding. Alright, if the palms are up, face the palms down. Press the palms into the earth as you lengthen your spine long before you come up. And then walk the palms back. If you need to, use the hands to help the knees together. Heel toe them a little bit apart. Plant your fingertips behind you. Just do a couple of windshield wipers side to side. So that's our Yang movement after our seated bound angle, which was about 3 minutes total. One more time each side, shoulders back and down, a smile on your face. All right, and then turn, move in you may have out of the way. You may need it for the next one, your blanket. Maybe not. So we're going to do a seated forward bend. Paschimottanasana, also known as caterpillar in the Yin world, and it works the entire back of our body, the fascia that runs from the bottoms of our feet all the way up the back of our legs, the back of our hips, our back, shoulders, up and through our neck, and into the back of our heads. So same thing here. If you have tight hamstrings, you can place that blanket roll underneath just to give a little relief there. But if you're good with it, go ahead and pull the flesh away from the sitting bones or sit on the edge of that blanket and start to walk yourself in with that nice long spine going to your edge. So once you get to your edge here with a long spine, if your low back feels good today, you can go ahead and bring it further and round in. This is a great place for a block here, maybe 2 blocks, depending on how far you go. I have students that this is as far as they go and they're feeling it. So it doesn't matter what it looks like, it matters that you're feeling it. There's a saying in yoga, one man's medicine is another man's poison. So if you can only go this far, but you're jamming your body to go as far as your neighbor or what I'm doing, you could really hurt your body. So as long as you're feeling it on the back of the body, you're doing the pose. It doesn't matter how far forward you come. All right, so about 2 more minutes. Find your edge, find your stillness, and hold for a time. See if you can relax the shoulders for the last minute of the practice. Sip in a deep inhale through the nose. Open your mouth and send it out. See if you can sink a little deeper. And come out this one mindfully, just like we did down dango. Gaze forward just towards your ankles, plant the palms, lengthen the spine long, and start to walk yourself up. This one we're going to find a rebound in stillness. So just slide your feet towards the end of the mat, slowly make your way down. Lie on your back, hopefully your head didn't hit the block like mine did. Let the feet fall open, let the hips fall open. Relax the shoulders, let the heart center fall open. And just bring your awareness to the space behind closed eyes. Just watch that soft, peaceful darkness. You might notice colors or patterns, and that's very normal. You don't have to see anything. Just noticing. body long. I'm going to draw the knees into the chest and let's get ready for our next posture. So this time let's roll to our left and use our right hand to press ourselves up. All right, coming into dragon pose. So bring your right foot forward from an all-fours position. Both hands are on the inside of your right foot. Okay, this is a great place for blocks. If you have tight hips, if you know dragon is one that you can get right into, go ahead. So our props help our legs to be longer. So this isn't dragon. So you want to curl the left toes under and walk that knee out until you feel a stretch in that left front hip. Okay? So it's a deep stretch. It's called dragon for a reason because it feels like your hips could just breathe fire here. So my shoulders are back and down, my heart is forward. You can go deeper. You can bring the palms to the earth, watching that right knee. Make sure it's in alignment with the second and third toe and not winging out to the side. There are several dragons. I'll do a whole dragon class one time, but we're just going to keep a straight knee in line with the second and third toe. And just about another 60 seconds here. Just opening up through the hips. And my gaze is soft at the front of the mat. I can have my eyes closed. And just notice where you feel the deepest sensation and send the breath there. And each time you exhale, see if you can exhale a little of that tension out. Short dragon today. So if you're all down on your forearms, come up to long arms, bring the right hand to the right side of the right foot, and just counter stretch with a quick half split, drawing the glutes towards the left heel, long spine, drawing the chest forward towards the toes. And I come forward, right into a pigeon pose. Have a block handy, you might need it. Heel toe that right foot all the way to the left side of the mat. Making sure your hips are level. And if you know you love pigeon, you can go right down into your pigeon pose. If you're having a little issue with the hips not being level, this is a great place for a block or a folded blanket under that right hip. You can also stay up here. We're going to be here probably for about a total of 3 minutes on each side. But when you're ready, if you want, you can come back down, rest your forehead on the backs of your palms or wrists. Some people find it lovely to place a block under their sternum. You can do that as well. And just pay attention to that right knee. If you feel any discomfort there, ease out of it. You can try to flex the right toes too, if it's just a little bit of a discomfort. If you flex the right toes, it might ease it out. But if pigeon's not for you, just ease out. If you want to, you can start to take a few deeper breaths, soft ujjayi breaths here. And just these are to calm and not to warm the body too much. So ujjayi is where you breathe in and out the nose with a slight constriction in the throat. So in your head it sounds like the ocean. Just about 30 more seconds here. See where you can soften and let go for those last few rounds of breath in this pose. Mindfully come out, just start to slowly press yourself up. Long arms. Curling the left toes under, so get the left knee forward as you bring your right leg back into that all fours position. Notice any achiness. It's totally normal to have a little achiness coming out of these poses. So like we did earlier, let's do some of those hip circles in each direction. Walking the palms forward. That feels so good. That was a tight hip for me today. And go in each direction about 3 times. All right. And then it's that fire breathing dragon on the other side. So this time bringing the left foot forward. Curl the right toes under. Walk that right knee back until you feel that stretch. Again, use your blocks if you need to under your palms on the earth. And before you go down or settle in, just make sure that left knee is in line with the second and third left toe. Shoulders back and down, go down to forearms, and then sink in. Notice which side is tighter. And this side's not as tight for me today, and another day it might be a different story. This might be the tighter side, and we have to honor the differences in each side of our body. So if it's tighter, maybe you don't go in so far right away. Shoulders relax, shoulder blades are against the back ribs. Breath, especially if that mind is taking you down an alley of chores or to-do lists. Always bring the awareness back to the breath. Feel the coolness of the inhale and the warmth of the exhale on the nostrils. Couple more breaths. Slowly come up to long palms, bring the left hand to the left side of the foot, pressing back into that half split pose, curling the left toes towards the face, pull the heart towards the big toe, just to the right of it, and fall in. Such a beautiful counter stretch to dragon. And come forward into your pigeon pose, heel toe, that left foot to the right side of the mat. That was my ankle, releasing a little synovial fluid gas bubble, and that felt really good. All right, and again, making sure the hips are level, propping that left hip up with a block or a blanket if it's not supported and level. And then you make your way down. You can stay up if that's enough for you, or you can make your way all the way down. Resting your forehead on your forearms. Again, I put a block under my sternum last time. I think I'm going to do that again this time because that just feels nice. And pay attention to that left knee. Again, your target area is the outer hip on the left side this time. And you're getting a little stretch in the right hip flexor as well. 30 more seconds. See where you can sink and soften a little further. Transition out, start to come up, plant the palms, come all the way up. If you have anything under that left hip, just remove it. My block to the side, crawling my right toes under, scooching my right knee forward, and come back. Oh, now that was tight coming out of that, so I'm achy here, which is totally normal. I know my hips are gonna love me tomorrow morning. And once again, some of those nice juicy hip circles, they're in each direction. Down to your belly. We're going to do a Sphinx pose just for 2 minutes here today because it's mostly hips, but it's nice to get a back bend for that low back. So my elbows are underneath my shoulders and draw my heart through the window of my upper arms. Tops of the feet are on the earth. They don't have to touch. In fact, a little bit apart's more comfortable. Target area is that low back. A good thing to know if it becomes a little intense with this back bend is you can squeeze the glutes for a few breaths. Give them a good squeeze, take a couple breaths, and then release the glutes. No tension in the glutes. Now if you want a little bit more compression down there, you can always bend the knees and flex the feet. You're going to feel that just a little deeper in that low back. You're also working the kidney meridians back there and compressing the kidneys, which is lovely to release the energy, the chi, back in the kidneys, kidney meridian area. And if that becomes enough, you can always place the tops of the feet back on the earth. Shoulders are back and down. Now just have a soft gaze. You don't want to throw your head back in your Sphinx. Just a soft gaze at the floor in front of you, about 4 feet, or I have a wall there. I'm just looking at that there. All right, so you can stay here for the last minute of the pose, but if you would like to take seal, just bring your hands to the outer corners of the mat and externally rotate them, and then press up. It's just a little deeper back bend, and it feels so good. And just breathe. Make sure you're not wearing those shoulders up. They're down. Your heart is forward. So it is a little more of an active yin pose because we are holding the upper body up with the arms, but we're still working that low spine, which for so many of us is very achy. And I will run a low back yin very soon for you. And any suggestions you have for classes, post in the comments what you would like to work on. Yin is my favorite, but I teach vinyasa flow, power, so let me know what you would like to see. All right, that's enough of that. So lower all the way down into crocodile pose, stacking the palms, resting the forehead here, and just notice, feel the flood of energy in that low back. Feel the release and the relief of coming out of the pose. Press up and back into a quick child's pose to stretch that out. If it feels good, do a little side stretch, walking the palms off the right side of the mat. And then do the other side because it just feels so good. Letting the head drop between the upper arms. Alright, so let's do one more before we finish out the class. Let's do a straddle, a dragonfly. So that's your dragonfly wings. Again, this is a great place for a blanket underneath these sitting bones. Tilt the pelvis forward. And again, this is your target area or your inner thighs. You're gonna feel this big time, okay? So you can start to walk forward with that long spine. Go to your degree. Maybe you stop at an inch. If you're feeling it in your inner thighs, you're doing it. You can walk as far out as you want to. So I'm gonna come down to forearms. And I feel really nice, deep stretch there. I know that my body can go a little further, but I'm gonna give it a few rests before I walk into it. And we hold stillness in Yin, but movements are totally acceptable if your body releases and invites you to go in deeper. Like my inner thighs just went ahead and gave me permission, so I'm just gonna walk a little further and find your edge. And then once you find that next edge, just find stillness once again. This is one of those poses where I can go deep, but not every pose is like this. You ask me to do a hamstring pose, I'm gonna cry like a baby. I have my chin out in the full expression with my hands to my ankles. But by all means, if you need to lay an ear on, just make sure you switch. And about 30 more seconds in the pose. Alright, so start to press the palms into the earth. Make your way up nice and slow. Use your hands to draw those feet together. Plant your palms, maybe bounce the legs out a little bit. Get that energy flowing, windshield wiper the feet side to side. And turn to your side, make your way to your back. Find a block or a folded blanket if you have one. If you don't, you don't need one. One inversion before we close the class. So if you do have a block, you're on your back, plant your feet, lift your hips up, and support your low back and sacrum with a block. Otherwise, just keep your hips on the earth and do this. Just lift the legs up. Oh, this feels lovely. All right, now my arms are down by my side. And draw my toes just a little closer to my forehead. And if this is uncomfortable, by all means, adjust. Now, you don't do it elevated hips if you have untreated high blood pressure, glaucoma, or if you're on the first couple days of your cycle, if you're a woman. Then you would just leave your hips on the earth. For now, just hang out. always hit the pause button. If this feels really good and you want to hang out for a couple more minutes. But if you're ready, let's transition out. Just slowly bend the knees, bringing the right foot to the earth, bringing the left foot to the earth, and pause in your supported bridge. And slowly press the feet into the earth. Lift the hips up and as slow as you can, come down one vertebra at a time. Nice and slow. As soon as you land, heel toe the feet apart. Windshield wiper the knees side to side, goalposting your arms. Release out. My hips feel better already, but I think we should get a twist in before Shavasana, so hug the knees into the chest. Give them a quick squeeze, plant the feet, just lift the hips up, walk the hips to the right, and drop the knees to the left. Have both shoulders on the earth. If your low back is feeling tight here, you can always place a block or a folded blanket under that bottom knee. It would be the left knee on this side. Gaze can be up. I have my eyes closed, but gaze can be up. Or gaze can be to the right. Slowly transition to the other side, so my gaze comes back to neutral, which is up. I draw my belly in, lower that left hip up, walk my hips center, and pause to neutralize. And press the feet in, walk the hips now over to the left, and drop the knees to the right. Again, notice if the side's tight on the low back, just place a block under that right knee or a folded blanket. Gaze up or gaze to the left. Gaze is back to neutral. Draw your belly in. Lower the left hip. Walk yourself back to neutral. Before we take our Shavasana, hug the knees into the chest. And if a quick happy baby pose feels good, hands to the shins, inside or outside of the feet. I lift my hands to the outside of my feet in happy baby pose because it externally rotates my shoulders. Slight tuck of the chin towards the chest to lengthen the back of the neck. And then draw the tops of the thighs towards the earth. Draw the sacrum towards the earth. Best spinal neutralizer ever. Alright, release one more time. Hug them in. And then find your Shavasana. Let the legs go long. Let the feet fall out to the side. Feel the hips just drop open. The shoulders rest as the heart draws open. Hit the pause button and stay here as long as you want, but at least a minute to 5 minutes to let your body receive your practice. Start to wiggle the fingers and toes, rotate wrists and ankles. Stretch feels good. You can take a good morning stretch here. Big inhale. Let it out the mouth of the exhale. One more time, deep inhale. And walk the knees into the chest as you exhale. And roll to your right side. You can roll right or left, whatever works for you. Rest your ear on your bicep and just take a couple sips of relaxation before you get on with your day. And when you're ready, use your palm to press yourself up, coming into a comfortable seated position. You can stay here with your hands to heart center in a breathing meditation if you want for a few breaths. But if you're ready, the light in my heart bows and honors to the light in your heart. Namaste.